guys, Jill here, and I wanted to show you a few things before I head out to dinner with my family. We're going to celebrate Easter and my birthday and my future sister-in-law's birthday. So I figured I would show you what I had worked on. I showed you yesterday the Smash book I got her, the wedding theme one, because she's marrying my brother next month. And so I just decorated it with a whole ton of I Am Roses, and I just did some. This one I tipped with cranberry, Adirondack, pigment ink. These just came like that. Same with these. I put some walnut stain on this one, some tea dye on this one, and some spun sugar spray on this one. And the leaves I put bundled sage spray on them. I added in a few Webster's Pages pins and some Canterbury Lane metal roses, and then I dropped some pearls all throughout the flowers. And this is probably the way that I'm going to do the cover for their guest book. So there's that. Here's her card. And for her card, I used my Martha Stewart paper clay molds. I've got to show you those. I've just been kind of behind on things, as you guys know. So I did 12 of the little swirl, one of the flower, and then I painted it red. And red is her favorite color, and then the wedding colors are burgundy. So, you know, obviously these are colors she likes. And I then sprayed it with just the red Perfect Promise. So that gave it some shimmer. I used the paper collection from, let's see, My Mind's Eye, Lost and Found 2, and this is blush. And I cut it out with my Nestabilities, and then there's one back behind there so that the print didn't come through so much. I attached that to a craft card, stamped it with a Stampin' Up! Stamp that said Happy Birthday, and everything I edged with my walnut stain like I always do, and I used my corner chomper on just a rectangle. And then on the inside, I used a piece of the paper. I love this piece of paper, and I'm going to write the little message right down here. So that's her card. I also did some Easter cards. Well, I'll show you the Easter bunny. I made some Easter bunnies, and this is with they're kind of sticking to the wrapper, but this is with white chocolate, Wilton white chocolate, and it's called Color Burst, so you can see it has the little pastel specks in it. And I was really happy with how those came out, so those we're going to give out. And then here's my Easter card. Let's make sure. Okay, so this is a spellbinder back here. I used the paper collection is the, oh man, the Bow Bunny. Let's see, what are you called? Country Garden. So I used the Country Garden collection, and I've actually gone through a lot of this paper. I really like that collection. I used just plain purple and blue paper. I cut the cross out with my Silhouette, and I enlarged the pattern a little bit from the one that you can buy from the Silhouette store. I used my daffodils that I molded, and these are from Mold Me. Get that. Sorry. Mold Me, Shape Me. And you can find her on Etsy. And I did the daffodils in a few different colors. Now, I did the white to start, and I had told you that when I used the air dry clay, which I used the Delight air dry clay, that my craft mat had some distress on it, and I actually made some of them kind of reddish and pink. Well, I kind of used that idea. So I smushed some distress ink onto my pad, my craft pad, and I used mustard seed, and I just used a little bit more. I kneaded it into the clay, and so that's what gave the light and the brighter yellow. Then I took, try to see it, Spice Marmalade, and I colored the centers, and I again used some water on some, not on the others, and I spritzed them with my Perfect Pearl mist as I did the cross. So I tried to keep it kind of simple because I thought the flowers really are what stood out with the cross. So to make those stand out, I didn't do as much to the background. And then this is one of the few insides I've started doing the insides. So I used some of the pattern paper. I did a little scallop here. That same Stampin' Up! Set I used for the Happy Easter. And then the cross was in that same silhouette pattern. And so I had cut out 2 of each set in these 2 colors because obviously if I cut out the blue, it was the 2 same colors. And same with the crosses, so I just mixed and matched them. And then these are some punches of the little scraps of the paper, and I put a little bit of liquid pearl in the center. So there's that. And then one more thing I wanted to show you was my anniversary card to my husband, because as well as my birthday, we do celebrate our anniversary on my birthday. It's the day that we got married. So I made him an Angry Bird card, and this was inspired by Dawn, who is my Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. She did a bigger Angry Bird, so I just took my Nestabilities and did a black and a gray, and then I took a circle punch and cut it down to make the beak, as well as the eyes. I used the Stampin' Up! Owl punch, and then I didn't have the gray in that size, so I used a balloon punch that I had, and I kind of hid the little bits of the balloon under the beak. And then I just hand cut the red for his eyes or eyebrows, and then I hand cut his little, I guess he's a bomb. So my husband had told me he's a bomb, so I just downloaded the Angry Bird font and wrote out "You're the bomb." And then I did decorate the inside, but I'm going to leave that because that has a personal message in it. And I just used some Halloween paper with the chandeliers and a Sizzix book. Not book, but you know, it's a die for a mini book. And I edged that in silver, and I thought with the chandeliers was fun because they're flying. So there's that. So that's everything that I've been working on now. I've told you I'm going to, and I'm still going to go through my Tim Holtz tags from the Creative Chemistry 101 class, and I just had great fun making this. We ended up with 25 tags from that class, and it was a great way to get out all of my Ranger Tim Holtz Distress products and go nuts, and that's what I did. So I'll be showing you the tags, not the techniques, because obviously you would need to purchase the class for that, but I'll tell you about what we used. Okay, so there you have it. Thanks for stopping by, and have a great day, and happy Easter to everybody that celebrates Easter, and happy Passover to those of you that celebrated Passover. Have a great day.